So this is the real welcome to the Creative Advantage. What I'd like you to think about right now is the word resilient. When you think of the word resilient, what comes up for you? What's a word, when I say resilient, what's a word that comes up for you?
Bounce back.
Bounce back.
Energy.
Rubber.
Energy. Rubber.
Strong.
Strong.
Capable.
Capable.
Timely. Positive.
Energetic.
Energetic. Timely. Positive. How about flexible? One of the things that happens, I think, the most in caregiving is change. I mean, it happens for all of us in life. But as soon as that diagnosis comes, that's a major change. And from that point on, it seems like it's not necessarily the positive one. The little ones, you get them going on a nap schedule and a food schedule, and it would change because there was happy growth and progress. This kind of progress can really be devastating. So as the caregiver, what I'm going to ask you to do today is think about how you can start to come into 5 minutes at a time of figuring out how you can tap into all of those words we just described as being resilient and having the capacity to thrive as the person who is responsible for another. And one of the ways we can do that is to be playful. So what I'd like you to do right now, and I see some of you already have, is pick a color. It can be a color that you are drawn to, that you like. It could be a color you would never ever use in your home or wear, but something's talking to you right now. Pick that color. And if there is a feeling that comes up, you don't need to say it out loud, but if there's a feeling that comes up around it, and I have the big kids here, just notice for yourself, does that take you to a fishing hole? Does it take you to an imaginary place? Is it a playful piece of paper? Is it something that is soothing? It might be something that's not comfortable for you. Just let yourself notice that as well. So if anybody would like to share, is there one word or something that comes up for you about why you picked a particular pattern? Tony.
Granddaughter.
Excellent. All right. Anyone else?
Well, chocolate milk for me. This is my youth. The chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
My mom
Okay.
always gave me chocolate milk, and I would watch the Three Stooges. So that's what that's.
So that's two good things. Somebody was comforting you.
Kindergarten. Yeah.
And what does the Three Stooges make us do?
Laugh.
Laugh. And finding humor and laughter in just some little nanosecond throughout your day, either yourself or something that your loved one said that was, humorous. Maybe it was totally out of context of what you were trying to do or accomplish, but it was still funny. Allow yourself to let that idea of chocolate milk and laughter come in. So the whole point of this is just to notice what comes up for you. And I hope you will never open a magazine the same way again. When you're flipping through a magazine, there may be a blue behind that car ad. You can either tear or use scissors. Create a fun little shape. Put that blue color or whatever color that you choose out of the magazine up on your refrigerator. And when you're in fixing that next meal, or you have to go past that refrigerator to wash the next sink full of dishes, notice that color that you chose, and for that glimmer gave you a nanosecond. And remember again, you're doing the best that you absolutely can in the caregiving role, and that it's okay. Again, put those shoulders back. Let's do it right now. Can you gently roll your shoulders? And as it's comfortable for you, just take a breath. And that's all I'm asking you to do when you see a color. If you can do something like access a color back from kindergarten when chocolate milk was comfort to now when thinking about your granddaughter, I'm assuming, Tony, that was a positive thought about your granddaughter?
Yes, oh yes.
Yes. Think about what are the things that do support you, that you can do, that create joy, hope, and pleasure. So what I'd like you to do now, so that we can step a little bit more out of our left logical office brain into our more playful right side of the brain that they have described as the one that not only holds our creativity but allows us to access it. If you would pass the pens, everybody take a pen and pass one. And find the white paper that was under your colored paper.
Well, you see, this is one of my favorite pastimes, is wallpaper. It's something I love to do. I have done all my life. I have decorated all my houses, and I've always done the wallpaper.
Excellent. And Donna, you offered an idea about yours.
This came back to when I used to make quilts in quilting, so I was suddenly finding, oh, there's that color, this will match this one, and this will pull up this color here. And so I was back to the joy of making quilts for everybody.
And actually that is a metaphor that I use a lot. It's actually in the book. The idea, men not included, that women, and it could have been men, because men could be doing carving or something else, that they're using their hands and they gather together. But when women came together and used literally the last scrap of their favorite dress or their grandmother's dress or something, not only did that fabric have meaning, but it was going back into another serviceable object. And the metaphor of us gathering like this and using our hands, when you do something with your hands, even if it's just pull a color towards yourself so that you can acknowledge a moment and a feeling in that moment, you anchor it. And that is actually what the creative process can do for us. So thank you, Donna. You just opened me up into my...
You're welcome.
I'm just so grateful. So what I would like you to do now is not be afraid of a piece of blank paper. Just write your name as if you're writing me a big check. Okay. Now I'd like you to put the pen in the other hand, what we call your non-dominant hand.
Yeah, I knew she was going there.
And, and I'd like you to write your name. So what's one thing you noticed about that?
Not very good at it.
Oh, wait, one,
More circles.
more circles,
Not
More
as neat.
deliberate, more slow and deliberate.
slow and deliberate,
Much larger.
much larger, okay?
No control.
No control? Well, you got letters, I mean, you got
No,
things
but it
on the
was
paper, right. So, that asked us to switch things a little bit about what we do automatically without thinking. And so many of us approach tasks and our daily routine that way. That this is part of stepping out, and as Cindy said, there was a little deliberateness in terms of slowing down, and you know, you were still probably trying to get it right, so to speak, but you had to shift. Now, back to your dominant hand, whatever, however you sign your name with your regular hand, and close your eyes.
Do the same thing.
Write your name. So what did you notice?
Looks just like the other one.
Looks really good.
Pretty close. Okay.
It's amazing.
All right, back to your other non-dominant hand
And your eyes closed?
and close your eyes.
Stand on one
man.
foot.
Yes.
And don't breathe. Don't breathe.
So I asked you to do a little experiment, and this is actually not my exercise. It comes from Angeles Arian, who is an anthropologist, and she's written some wonderfully beautiful books. And again, this is about asking us to step just out of and to one side of how we do things by rote many times. So I borrowed it. It's something that she actually came to my program and shared with us. It's something that has stayed with me for a long time. And as we heard, we got laughter and some giggles out of switching gears a little bit. That's what I asked you to do with the color. What I'd like you to do now is to just set pens and papers down. And I have a visualization, one of the ones that comes from my program that I've written, but I find that if I read it, and it's up here on the little podium, I stay on track better. So what I'd like you to do is to put your feet flat on the floor if it's comfortable for you. uncross your hands. We have a small group, so if you're comfortable, it'd be helpful to close your eyes so you can kind of go into your own space. If you're not comfortable closing your eyes, then maybe just focus your eyes down on your own hands in your lap. Imagine writing that feeling on a piece of color that you just picked. If it's an uncomfortable feeling, maybe you need a color that would soothe that feeling. If it's still kind of a jagged feeling, maybe you need a jagged color to express that feeling. Notice how it is for you to assign a color to a strong feeling. And allow that color to just absorb that feeling for just these few moments. It's not that we're trying to diminish or change that feeling. We're recognizing it, acknowledging it, and allowing it to go out on that color. Using our imaginations, choosing something as simple as a color is an opportunity to acknowledge that we can change the moment and how we are in that moment. This is not about denying your feelings as the caregiver. It's about being clear in the tasks at hand and taking care of yourself in that moment. By taking care of yourself, you can discover your intent to be resilient. Acknowledge for a moment your willingness to step into your imagination, to be playful with these other caregivers, and to try something different. Are there colors you could assign to your imagination or playfulness? As it's comfortable for you, slowly take a deep breath and gently let it out. When you take a deep breath, it gives you the time and space to back out of the situation of the moment and create a space of choice. Let the breath be a pathway that might begin to ease your mind and renew your spirits. Are there any other colors that you would like to add? Do you need the tall, upright trees and deep greens of the woods? The reds and oranges of a sunrise? The blues and grays of the ocean and sky? Or think of a magic carpet of color coming into your mind, and as you place your thoughts on it, let it whisk them away for just these few moments. What color would fill you right now with the power of endurance that is needed to be resilient? As it's comfortable for you, take another deep breath, all the way down to your toes, and slowly let it out. Imagine your breath as a pathway or spiral slide of colorful excitement all the way down to your toes. Be aware of colors as they take you to a place of relaxation and restfulness. When you can find just moments to be able to relax and to even be playful, you can practice making good choices for yourself. Good choices help you to be resolute in caring for yourself as the caregiver. Self-care allows you to maintain the self-assurance that you are doing the best you possibly can, and that's all any of us can do. Self-reliance and stamina come from deep inside, from that emotional certainty in the balance of opening your heart endlessly and accepting the limits of what you can do. Take a gentle, deeper breath. Slowly let it out. Just be conscious and aware that this is your time. Let the beginnings of paying attention to yourself and being curious about yourself come in. Feel how it is to take these moments for yourself and give yourself a message of appreciation. Acknowledge the scope of your unique and specialized skills. And let the colors that have shown up in your imagination be a permission slip to look at all that you do each day. Can you say to yourself, I appreciate all that I am. Often my daily schedule has struggles, sorting of responsibilities, really tight places in my mind, and then in my muscles. You are handling the situation you're in. Notice how you persevere in the face of change, and how self-reliance and compassion are important parts of who you are. Can you assign colors to support compassion for yourself? Honor yourself for coming here to this place of process, a place of openness and possibilities for yourself. Welcome for these few moments the idea of self-care, and acknowledge for yourself and accept for yourself that your resilient spirit can expand. Allow the colors that you've chosen to fill you as a rainbow fills the sky. Take one more deep breath and slowly let it out. Let the breath fully ease you into this place that allows self-care. Know that it is there whenever you need to take a few moments for yourself. Let this practice of remembering to breathe, accessing color, offer a place of empowerment to make changes within the resilient you. I'm going to ask you now to gently return to the room. Begin to feel your toes. Wiggle your fingers if you need to. Feel the seat beneath you. Just notice your breath now. And as you can, slowly open your eyes and just let me know that you're back in the room. Take one and pass it down. And I have little styluses. So on these little wooden tools, you can either use the point or the more blunt end. And they've actually done studies that have proven that something as simple as doodling can help you, again, take in what you're hearing and anchor it in a different way. So if you haven't doodled in a long time, you can start with your initials. That's one way to just get something on the paper. You can do it big. You could write your whole name and then maybe decorate it or do something inside. If you have a favorite doodle that you've done, I remember doing them along the sides of my notebooks and, instead of taking notes, I was over there doodling when I was in school. So whatever's comfortable for you, somewhere on the page, if you scratch, do you guys remember doing the crayons and then putting the black ink on it? Mm-hmm. This is basically what this is. It's called scratch art. Mm. And if you move your stylus on it, colors will show up.
Oh.
So again, whatever's comfortable for you, just try, it can be something real, it can be something playful. If you don't know how to start, then just use your initials. So my point right now while you're doodling is that honoring, again, the idea that we came together we're sharing this time and space, and we're going to have a few moments to be able to brainstorm what it is that helps you maintain that resiliency. So again, what were some of the words that came up on being resilient?
Positive.
Positive. I heard buoyant. I thought of a bouncing ball. G.
Creative.
Creative.
Flexible.
Flexible.
And careful.
Capable. Yeah, capable.
Capable.
Stand behind our chairs.
Yeah, if you want to just push them back in to the table a little bit so you have something in front of you. Do we need to come this way a little bit? Oops, it goes this way. Yeah. It's not the first time I drop it. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'd like to just extend not only the breathing practice that we did, but this concept of rolling your shoulders back. It does a couple of things. It helps relax your shoulders. It also, when our shoulders are back, allows that deep breath to really get into your lungs. And hopefully, if your shoulders are up and back, as it's comfortable for you, it also allows your diaphragm to expand. So just take one deep breath. So one of the things I'd like you to imagine, we had a black piece of paper here that started out as the scratch art, and we've had a visualization relaxation where we've imagined colors coming in. So what I'd like you to do is combine that. I'd like you to go back to when we were all in school, and rather than having to go to the blackboard and do that dreaded, for me, math problem, spelling I could manage, math so not so much, I'd like you to just close your eyes and keep your hand on the back of your chair if you need balance. And I'd like you to imagine a blackboard. And if there is either a feeling word or something that comes up, again, with your hand, actually put your arm up, don't knock your neighbor over, but put your arm up and imagine writing whatever that word might be on the blackboard, as big as you can get it. And as the scratch art did, are there colors that come up through that word that you're writing on the imaginary blackboard? Just think about that for a minute. Now use whatever hand you used, use your other hand and same thing. Pick a word, maybe there's a shape, maybe just a spiral or a big circle. Use that arm and imagine doing it on the blackboard. Maybe really squeaky chalk, maybe there's a color of the chalk. How big can you write it? Do you need to move all along that blackboard to fill it up? Now the next time you're either at the sink or you're loading that laundry one more time and that word comes up, remember, put your shoulders back. Be silly for a second. Again, find something that if you need to balance on. But use that imaginary blackboard. Make yourself giggle and laugh. Make it either a fun word. For me, it might be the word horse or dog, because they are four-legged creatures that I've always loved. For me, it meant being outside and doing something I loved. And it could be that something comes up for you in that moment, other than stuffing that washing machine or dryer again, even though it needs to be done. So giving yourself permission to let yourself go there with these nanoseconds of humor and a memory of what it meant to be in the group today and share our laughter, hopefully learn a few things. The last thing I'd like you to do, again as it's comfortable for you, is to put your right hand on your left shoulder and your left hand on your right shoulder and take in a deep breath. And as you let it out, drop your chin down to your chest, down towards your arms, as far as you can go. And then slowly bring your head back up. And not only, you can relax now, not only is that a really good neck and shoulder exercise, but it's a great self-hug. You're welcome.
good at what she
This
does.
part
She
I've
really
been
is.
doing for a long time. Standing in front of a camera, not so much.